Students, welcome all. So today we are going to start our logical reasoning section. So we are going to start with a topic called syllogism. So as you know, this is an important topic. So we are going to discuss in detail about syllogism, what all concepts are there, and how we can approach this topic as well. Okay. So let us start with this basic understanding of what exactly is syllogism. So as we know, we have a statement and a conclusion. Okay, so we are going to start with the statement part. So statement part, we have basically two types, that is called a positive statement and negative statement. So how can we exactly know if the statement is positive or negative? So we know we basically have four keywords. Okay, so that are some, all, then we have some not as well, and no. Okay, so these are the four keywords that we usually use, or the statements are mainly connected using these four statements. So positive statements, if a statement is positive, so how can we know if the statement is starting with, some and all? So this is called a positive statement, and if the statement is starting with some not and no, then the statement will be called as a negative statement. Okay, so it is easy to understand. If the statement is starting with some and all, it is a positive statement, and if it is starting with some not or and no, or either of the cases, it will be called as a negative statement. Okay, so that is an important thing that we need to understand. Now when we go to the conclusion part, so conclusion part also has two types. First one is called a definite conclusion, and the second type is called an indefinite conclusion. Okay, so definite conclusion, say I am taking an example, sum A or B. Okay, just taking an example, sum A or B. Okay, and I am just giving another statement as well, sum A or B is a possibility. Okay, so now from this, I think you can easily identify which is the definite conclusion, which is indefinite conclusion. Okay, so a definite conclusion, as we can see, is the first one. Sum A or B is the definite conclusion, and indefinite one is sum A or B is a possibility. Okay, so indefinite conclusions mostly are connected using the words like possibility. Okay, so possibility, if a conclusion has a word possibility, you can easily understand it is an indefinite conclusion. Then could be, okay, could be, might be, maybe. Okay, so these words also could be used. Okay, so if a conclusion is having words like possibility, could be, might be, and may be attached to it, so you can easily understand that it has to be an indefinite conclusion. Okay, so these are mainly the basics. So now we are going to discuss in detail about our keywords. Okay, as we said, they are some, all, some not, and no. Okay. Okay. Now, how we are going to approach? Okay, how we are going to approach this syllogism? We are going to use a method which is called Venn diagram method. Okay. So since you know this Venn diagram method is applicable to every case in syllogism, so usually we use, or the best way to interpret a syllogism is always using a Venn diagram. Okay. So now we are going to discuss how we are going to portray this keywords. Okay. So first we are going to start with sum. Okay, the sum A or B. What does basically the sum A or B means? That A and B have a connection, but they are connected in some parts. Okay, so the diagram usually comes like this. That sum A or B, we usually portray it in this manner. That A and B, I am taking this circle and this circle as A and B, and they have a common connection between them. Okay, so using the Venn diagram, we usually draw the condition that sum A or B in this fashion. Okay. Now to the next one, that is all A or B. So all A or B basically means what? A is totally inside B. Okay. So all A or B we will be drawing in this manner, that if I am taking this as A, then A has to be totally inside. Okay. So this is how we are going to draw the condition all A or B. Okay. Now moving to next one, no A or B. No A or B means what? A and B doesn't have a connection. So we can draw that in a Venn diagram in this form. I am taking this as A and this as B. So A and B doesn't have a connection here. Okay. Now the last one, sum A or not B. So what does sum A or not B means? That a portion of A doesn't connect to B. Okay. So using the Venn diagram, we usually draw in this manner, that I am taking this as A and this as B. Okay. What does the point says? That some portion of A is not connected with B. Okay. So sum A or not B is drawn in the Venn diagram form in this manner. Okay. So these four diagrams are very crucial. Okay. Because in the question part we will be the statements given will be related using the Venn diagram. Okay. So I hope that you got a basic idea on how to draw using these keywords. Okay. Now we are now going detail. Okay. So these are the primary keywords, but instead of them, secondary keywords also could be used. So we also need to be aware of that as well. So first we are going to start with sum. So sum has the majority of secondary keywords. So sum could be related as few. If a statement has few A or B, we have to understand that it is basically connected to sum. Okay. Now few is there, a few is also there. So both of them is basically meaning some keyword. Then at least some, that also means some as well. Then almost all, maximum, minimum. Okay. Then many, most of, mostly, many, more, generally. And sometimes they could also use a percentage form as well. So in percentage form, if the percentage lies between 0.1 to 99.99, it basically means some. Okay. So that also could be used in the questions as well. So you need to just remember these. Okay. Now if you move to the all has secondary keywords like each, then every is also there, any, only. Only we will be discussing in detail in the last portion. Then 100%. Okay. If a statement says 100% A or B means all A or B. Okay. And in some instances, if they are not using a keyword, say for example, if a statement is given like A or B. Okay, so it doesn't have a keyword before A. So you have to understand that we have to take this as all A or B. Okay, so that is also an important thing that you need to remember. Okay. Now moving to sum not. Sum not also has some secondary keywords like hardly, scarcely and seldom. Okay. So these three are mainly used for sum not. Okay. Now the last one, no. So no has secondary keywords like none, then never is also there, all not and no one. Okay. So these are some of the important secondary keywords. Just try to remember some almost just try to read everything. Okay. Some in only some instance they will be using this secondary keywords, but we just need to remember which is connected. Say like we said in an example, few A or B basically means what? Some A or B. If each A or B is coming, what does it mean? Each is connected to all. So it basically means all A or B. If there isn't a keyword, then we have to understand that it means all A or B. Okay, so likewise, you have to just remember these secondary keywords. And if a percentage part is coming, like as we discussed, percentage only will be related with mostly some and all. In instance, so in some cases, no also could be related. Say if they are giving 0%, okay, uh, the instances of coming 0% is very less, but they can also connect with 0 as well. Okay, so if they are giving 0% A or B means A and B doesn't have a connection. Okay, so that also could be asked in our exams as well. Okay, now I think we can just move to the topic and discuss the questions in detail. Okay. Okay. So this is how our question looks like. Okay, so as you can see, we have two statements here, and they have also given two conclusions, and four options are there. Okay, we're just discussing the options here. It is easily understood that first option, what does it mean? Only conclusion one follows. That means if the first conclusion is right and second is wrong, we can mark our answer as the first option. Only conclusion 2 follows. What does it basically mean? The first conclusion is wrong and the second one is only right. Okay. Both follows, as we know. If both are correct, we will be giving that option as our answer. Neither basically means if both are wrong, then we can place our option as neither follows. Okay. And either can also come. Either we will be also discussing that in detail. So it has some conditions are there related to either. So if that conditions are being obeyed, we can give the either option as well. Okay, so we will be just starting with the basics now. So the first thing what you need to do while you are attempting a syllogism question is first draw the Venn diagram according to the statements given. Okay, so first statement, if you are just reading, no flower is a pot. So that basically means what? Flower and pot doesn't have a relation. So how we can draw that? We have also already discussed that in the basic diagram part. So I am taking this flower as capital F and pot as capital P. So they have a no relation B, that means they don't have a connection. Okay. Now the second statement says no pot is a garden. Okay. So what does it mean? Pot and garden doesn't have a relation. Okay. So this is how we are going to connect the statements according to the Venn diagram. Okay. I hope that you got the first part, because drawing this Venn diagram is very crucial. Only then you will be able to solve the questions correctly. Okay. So the first part of the question is done. We have drawn the Venn diagram according to the statements. Okay. Now we can move to the conclusions. Okay. The first conclusion, what does it say? No flower is garden. Okay. Now, as we know, I think you will be able to understand that which type of conclusions are given here. Both the conclusions, no flower is garden and all gardens are pot, as we know, is a definite conclusion. Okay. Now the first point says that if the conclusions are definite, you have to just see that if you are able to by looking in the Venn diagram, if you are able to say that first conclusion is right or the conclusion is exactly right, then only it will be right. If you have a doubt in mind, or if you are not able to exactly say if it is right or wrong, definite conclusion is always wrong. Okay, so we can just start with the question now. So for what does it say? No flower is garden. Okay, so as we can see, flower is here and garden is there. So as we can see, does flower and garden have a direct relation? No. So we can see that in the statement part, flower and garden doesn't have a direct relation. So if we don't have a direct relation, can we say any relation between them? No. No relations, or if it is even a no, we can't say it is right or wrong. Okay. So if it, as I said, in a definite conclusion, if you don't exactly know the relation, then you have to mark your answer as it doesn't follow. Okay. So that's why we can say that first conclusion doesn't follow. Okay. So just seeing that, you might think that no flower is garden is right, but make sure that you understand that concept, that if two elements don't have a relation between them, so in case of a definite conclusion, you have to say that all the conditions are wrong. Okay, so that's why no garden is flower is wrong here. Okay, yeah. Now moving to the next question, what does it say? All garden are pots. Okay, so garden is here, pots is here. We know what is the relation between pots and garden, that they don't have a relation. Okay, so but conclusion 2 is saying that all gardens are pot. Is it possible? No, because we already know they have a connection. They don't have a relation, that is a connection. So any other relation is always wrong here. Okay, so we can mark the second one also as wrong. So both the conclusion 1 and 2 are wrong. So we can mark our answer as option 4. Okay, so I hope that you got a basic understanding of it. So few crucial points, as we said. If it is a definite conclusion, what you have to just look? You have to just look if according to the Venn diagram they have a relation or not. If they don't have a relation, all conclusions are wrong in case of definite. Okay, and if they have a relation, as we as we discussed in the second conclusion, if they have a relation and in the conclusion but they are giving other relation, that also will be wrong in case of definite. Okay, so hope that you got the conclusion part here. So both are wrong. So as we said, our answer has to be fourth option, that is neither conclusion false. Okay, now I think we can move to the next question now. Okay, now moving to the next question, I hope that you just pause the video, just try it out first, just try it out and then view the solution part. Okay, now we are just going to portray the Venn diagram now. So what does the first statement say? Some pens are books. So pen and book have a some relation here. So how will it be coming? Pen and book have a some relation. Now some books are table. So some books are table also has a some relation. So the Venn diagram will be coming in this fashion. Okay. So you might think that we can connect some. Okay. You might have a doubt that why didn't we connect this in this fashion? Okay. So this also could be right, but we don't know the relation between pen and table. So if you are drawing this in this fashion, that is in the second diagram fashion, we have what we have done. We have connected this pen and table, which is not connected in the statement. Okay, so it is better to connect this in the first form, or the first diagram is the right one. Second one could be right, but we can't say it is 100% right. Okay, so we can move with the second or the first Venn diagram here. Okay. Now moving to the conclusion part. Okay. What was the first conclusion? Some pens are table. Okay. So this is right. Pen and table, as we can see, they don't have a direct relation. So like we said in the last question, this is also definite conclusion. So this has to be wrong. Okay. Now moving to the second one, some tables are books. Okay. So is it right? We can see this is table, this is book. They have a some relation, as we can see here. So we can say that the second conclusion is right. Okay. So the first is wrong, second is right. So which option is the right one? We can say that option B, only two follows will be right. Okay. So I hope that you are getting the idea, basic idea of syllogism. Okay. Now I think we can move to the next question here. Okay, now moving on to the next question, we can just start with the Venn diagram part now. So all cats are dogs. Okay, so we can just draw that all cats are dogs. So cat has to be placed inside a dog. Okay, then all dogs are animals. Okay, so dog entirely has to be placed inside the animal. Okay, so this is how a Venn diagram looks like here. Now moving to the conclusion part, what does the first conclusion say? All cats are animals. Okay, so is it right? All cats are animals. Is it right? Yes, because cat is entirely inside animal. So we can say that the first conclusion is right. Okay. Now the second conclusion, all animals are dogs. Okay, is it right or wrong? It says that animals in total have to be dogs. So can we say that? No. Okay. Why? Because if we just see, animal is the outer circle here. Okay, so till this portion we can say that all animals are dogs. Okay, but after this portion, okay, if I'm just marking this in a blue portion, okay, this portion, about this portion we can't say that, we can't say entirely that that portion is a animal. Okay, so if you are not sure, as we said in the starting, if you are not sure in case of a definite conclusion, it has to be wrong. Okay, so we can say that the second conclusion is wrong here, the first one is right. So which option has to be the answer? Yeah, option A, only one follows is the answer. Okay, so I hope that you got the second conclusion here. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Okay, so first what we can do, we can just draw the diagram. So no cats are dogs. So cats and dogs don't have a relation here. Okay, cats and dogs are not having a relation, and dogs and animals are also not having a relation. Okay. Now we can just connect the conclusions. So first conclusion says that some cats are dogs. Okay. So some cats are dogs, it is right or wrong? Okay. As we can see, cat and dog has a no relation. So will some relation be right? No. Okay. So the first conclusion is wrong. Now the second one says that no dogs are cats. Okay. So is it right? So we can see that no cats are dogs. So the reverse also has to be right. Okay. So we can say that the second one is right here, first one is wrong. Okay. So which option has to be our answer here as well? Only 2 follows is the one we can mark. Okay. So we can also understand that reverse cases, which all will be right. Some case, in some and no case, the reverse will be right. What does it mean? That if I am saying that some A are B, then the reverse of this, that is some B are A also is right. Likewise, no A or B, if I am saying no A or B, then the reverse of this, that is no B or A is also right. Okay, so in case of some and no, the reverse is always right, but in case of all and some not, it is not right. Okay, so you have to just be careful of that. If you are seeing a reverse of some and no, you can directly mark it as right, but in case of all and some not, it is not right. Okay, now moving to the next question now. Okay, now moving to the 10th question. Okay, now first what we can do, we can just draw the diagram here first. What does the statement say? All roses are flowers. Okay, so all the roses are flowers. Okay, now the second statement says that all flowers are beautiful. Okay, so all the flowers are beautiful. Okay, so this is how our Venn diagram looks like. Now we can just see the conclusions. So what does the first conclusion say? All roses are beautiful. Okay, is it right? All roses are beautiful. It is right. Okay, because beautiful is the outer circle. Roses is this first circle. So all roses are beautiful is right in this case. Okay, so the first one is right. Now moving on to the second conclusion. Some flowers are not beautiful. Okay, so it says that some flowers are not beautiful. So is it right or wrong? We have to say it is wrong, because we can see that all flowers are beautiful. So that is understood from the statement and the Venn diagram. So can we say that some flowers are not beautiful? No. Okay, so we know a condition. So if you are saying another conclusion related to that, that always has to be wrong in case of definite conclusion. Okay, so here the first one is right and the second one is wrong. Okay, so which option we can mark here? We can mark our answer as option A, that only one follows. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, so just drawing the Venn diagram first here. Some apples are mangoes. Okay, so some apples are mangoes. Okay, and then no mangoes are fruits. So mango and fruit doesn't have a relation here. Okay, now just seeing through the conclusions. The first conclusion says that some apples are not fruit. Okay, this is an important sort of a question. So the first conclusion says that some apples are not fruit. Okay, so is it right or wrong? That is an important part. So we have to say that the first conclusion is right. Why? Why is it so? So as we can see, apple and mango have some relation. That means this portion is connected between apple and mango, as we can see in the Venn diagram. And it has been said that mango and fruit doesn't have a relation. So that means no portion of mango has to be connected with fruit. Okay. So from there what we can say that because this common portion is also related with A. So A's some portion is there in this common part. Okay. So we can say that this part 100% will not be connected to the fruit part. Okay. All the other part could be connected. All the other portions of A could be connected. But this sum portion or this common portion that is related with related with the mango can't be connected with the fruit. Okay. So because of that, we can say that some apples are not fruit has to be right. Okay. I hope that you got the reasoning of that. Okay. Moving to the next question. What does it say? They have asked that some mangoes are apples. So is it right or wrong? We can say it is right. Okay. Because we can see that some apples are mango, so the reverse has to be right. Okay. So here both are right. Okay. So which option is the answer? Yeah, option C. Both 1 and 2 follows will be the right one. Okay. So in this question, the first conclusion was crucial. So make sure that you got the concept of that. Okay. Moving to the next question here. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. What does the statement give? All women are cats. Okay. So we can just first draw that. All women are cats. Okay. What does the second statement say? All cats are rats. Okay. So all the cats are rat here. Okay. Now moving to the conclusion part. First conclusion says that all women are rats. So it has been understood. So woman totally is inside the rat. So the first conclusion has to be right. Now the next one, all rats are women. Okay. So it says that every rat is a woman. So is it right or wrong? No, I think we had discussed it in one question because rat is this outer circle. It is related to women. So only this portion we can say that this portion of rat we can say that it is woman. But the other portions, okay, the portion which is not connected with woman, we can't say that that portion could be rat or it cannot be. So we are not sure about that. So as we know, in definite conclusion, if you are not sure of anything, you have to mark your answer as you have to mark that conclusion as wrong always. Okay. So here the first one is right and the second one is wrong. So which option we can mark? Yeah, we can mark our answer as option 1, that only conclusion 1 follows. Okay. I hope that you got the basic understanding of this question. Okay. So make sure that you get the idea. Okay, that is very crucial in case of syllogism, and also try to make up for if you are saying say this conclusion is right or this is wrong. You have to just be able to give the reasoning of that why it is wrong and why it is right. So if you are able to do that, this syllogism topic will become a bit more easier. Okay, because if you are not able to give the reasoning, there always will be confusion in this topic. So try to make if you are, like I said, if you are marking one conclusion as wrong, just try to understand that why I am taking this as wrong or why it is right. So if you are able to give that reasoning, it will be a bit more easier. Okay. Now moving to the next question here. Okay, now moving on to the next question here. So first what we can do, we can just draw the Venn diagram here. So what does the first statement say? Some boys are men. Okay. So we can connect boys and men using the sum relation. Okay. So some boys are men we have connected. Now the next statement says that no men is black. So men and black, there is a no relation. Okay. So I think we can just first one is a boy, the third circle basically is related to black. Okay. Now just discussing the conclusion part here. What is the first conclusion say? Some boys are not black. Okay. So is it right or wrong? Some boys are not black. Okay. So I think in the previous question we have already discussed this concept. As we can see the same reasoning, as we can see that here boys and men are connected to a common portion, and we know that men and black have a no connection or no relation. So we can say that this portion of boys couldn't or will not be connected to black. Okay. So some boys are not black, because of that is the right conclusion. Okay. So I hope that you got the reasoning. Simple concept that boys and men are connected with a some relation and men and black are connected with a no relation. So this sum relation has a portion of boy. So this portion, this sum portion will this portion of boy will not be connected to black. So we can understand from that. So that's why some boys are not black is the right option here. Okay. Moving to the next conclusion, what does it say? Some men are boys. So is it right or wrong? Yes. As we know, they have already given in the statement that some boys are men. So as we said, in case the some, the reverse case is always right. So we can say that some men are boys have to be, or is the right conclusion. Okay. So here as well both are right. So which option we can mark? We can mark our answer as option 3, that both conclusion hold. Okay. Yeah. Now moving on to the next question. Okay, so this question what we can do, we can just first try it, just pause the video first, just try it out. Okay, so we will be discussing the solution, but try and just place your answers in the comment box, so we could know that how much understanding you are getting about this topic. Okay, so the first question is this. So random questions what we are going to do, we are going to just give you. So you, if you are getting the answer, you just mark your answers in the comment of this video. Okay, so that will get you will be able to understand the topic a bit more. Okay, and also your doubts also could be verified. Okay, now just discussing this question now. Okay, the first what we are going to do, we are going to draw the Venn diagram. Okay, so no apple is plum. So how we can draw that? So apple and plum have a no relation. Okay. Now the second statement says that all plum are oranges. So we can draw that plum totally has to be inside orange. Okay. So plum totally has to be inside orange. Okay. The last says that all oranges are mangoes. So same. So all oranges in total has to be inside mango. Okay. So this is how our Venn diagram looks like now. Okay. Now moving on to the conclusion part. What does the first conclusion say? All plums are mangoes. Okay. So is it right or wrong? All plums are mangoes. Okay. We can see easily see from the Venn diagram that plum is totally inside mango. So the first conclusion has to be right, that all plums are mangoes. Okay. Now moving on to the next conclusion, what does it say? Some apples are mangoes. So does apple and mango have a some relation? We can see apple is here and mango is in this portion. So we can we have only a relation that apple and plum doesn't have a relation, or they have a no relation. But do we have a direct relation between apple and mango? We have to say that it is a no. Okay. So if we don't have a direct relation, then as we said, the definite conclusion always has to be wrong. Okay. So we can mark the second conclusion here as wrong. So the first is right and second is wrong. So the first option has to be right. Okay. So here our answer is only conclusion 1 follow. So I hope that you got your answer right. Okay. Just cross verify your answer. And just if you have made a mistake, just try to rectify it. Okay. Moving on to the next question here. Okay. Now here first we can just draw the Venn diagram. Okay. So what you can do, you can just in every question just try to pause it and try to do it yourself first. Okay. Then see the solution part. Okay. So that will make, as I said, that will make your understanding a bit more good and build your concept in this topic. Okay. Now first drawing the Venn diagram here. All animals are mammal. So how will be the Venn diagram? So animal in total has to be placed inside mammal. Okay. Now, the second statement says that no mammal is reptile. So that means mammal and reptile doesn't have a relation. Okay. So that is being placed in the Venn diagram. The third statement says that all reptiles are amphibians. Okay. So the reptile in total has to be inside amphibian. So this is amphibian. The first one was animal. Okay. Okay. So this is how a Venn diagram looks like. Now just cross verifying the conclusions. The first conclusion says that all animals are amphibians. So is it right or wrong? So animal is in this. This is the animal. that outer circle is the amphibian part. Okay. So do they have a direct relation? No, they don't have a direct relation, and this is also a definite conclusion, as we can see. So the first conclusion, we can say that it has to be wrong. Okay. Now moving on to the next conclusion, some amphibians are mammals. Okay. So is it right or wrong? Amphibians, this is the outer circle. Mammals is this outer circle. Okay. So they have told that some amphibians are mammals. So same case, mammals and amphibians don't have a direct relation. So from that, this is also definite as well, definite conclusion as well. So this also has to be wrong. Okay. So both are wrong. So which option is the right one here? Fourth option, that neither follows. If both are wrong, you have to always mark your answer as neither conclusion follows. Okay. Hope that you are getting the solutions right. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. Okay. So first, just try to pause the video and do the solution. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the solution now. First statement says that some schools are classes. Okay. So schools and classes have a common portion here. Okay. Now second statement says that some classes are teachers. Okay. So some classes are teachers. Okay. The last statement says that all teachers are students. So this is the teacher part. So teacher in total has to be inside the students. So this is student, and the first S was school. Okay, I'm just writing it down. This is the school part. Okay. Now just discussing the conclusions. The first conclusion says that some students are classes. Okay. So is it right or wrong? We can see that this is the outer circle. This is a student, and this is the classes. So we can easily see that classes and students have a common portion. So we can say that some students are classes is the right conclusion. Okay. Now moving on to the next conclusion, all schools are teachers. Is it right or wrong? All schools are teachers. So we can say that school and teacher, does it have a direct relation? No. So if it doesn't have a direct relation, we can easily say that that conclusion doesn't follow. Okay. So the second conclusion here has to be wrong. Okay. So only the first one is right, second one is wrong. So we know the option has to be here first, that only conclusion one follows. Okay. So I think you are getting it. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. Okay. So they have given some statements here. What does the statement say? First statement says that some buses are car. Okay. First we can draw it. Some buses are car. Okay. Now what does the second statement say? No car is ship. So car and ship is not having a relation, or no relation, as we can say. Now the third statement says that all ships are bikes. Okay. So all the ships are bikes. Okay. Okay. So this B is bike. Okay. The last B is bike. The first B is buses. Okay. Okay. Now moving on to the conclusion part. What does the first conclusion say? Some buses are not bikes. So is it right or wrong? Some buses are not bike. Okay. So this as well, they do they have a direct relation? No, they don't have a direct relation. So is it a possibility? We know they have some relation. Then C is car. Car and ship have a no relation. Okay, that all is fine. But from that, can we say that some buses are not bike? Just try to cross verify. Okay, is it possible or not? We know they have some relation. That is, car and a bus have some relation. They both have a no relation. Okay, that is fine. So from that we can say that some buses are not ship. That is right. Okay, some buses can't be ship. That is right. So they have told that some buses are not bike. So we can just understand from that bike is inside the ship. Okay, so ship is being, or ship entirely is inside the bike. Okay, so if bus is not, if some buses are not ship, from there we can understand that some buses are not bike has to be right. Okay, so this is also an important question. So here the first conclusion does follow. Okay, so just I am repeating the explanation here. So here what we just discussing the solution, we can see that here buses and cars are connected by a some relation, and car and ship is connected by a no relation. Okay. So in the earlier questions as we have seen that from this we can conclude that some buses are not ship. Okay. Now ship, as we can see, ship is entirely inside the bike. Okay. So that means bike has some portion of bike is ship. Okay. So if it is that, if some buses are not ship here, from there we can conclude that some buses are not bike also has to be right here. Okay. So that's why we have marked the first conclusion here as right. Okay. Now moving on to the next conclusion, no bike is ship. They are saying that bike and ship doesn't have a, or they have a no relation. Okay. So as you can see, bike is here and ship is inside. So we already know the relation between them. Okay, that all ship is bike. So the other conclusion, will it be right? No. Okay. So because we already know that all ship is bike. So can we say that no ship is bike? No, that is wrong. So here the first conclusion is right and the second is wrong. Okay. So which option will is the answer here? Yeah, first option, that only conclusion 1 follows. Okay. So an important question because of the first conclusion. So I hope that you got the conclusion part of this. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. Okay, next question. So first just pause it. Okay, like we said in the previous question, just pause it. Just take a bit of time. Okay, and try to get the answer and then just cross verify it by unpausing it, and mark your answers in the chat portion as well. Okay, or in the comment box. Okay. Now just discussing this question as well. What does the first statement say? All cups are saucer. Okay. So all cups are saucer. Okay. Now the second conclusion, what does it say? All plates are cups. So that means plate is entirely inside cup. So cup is this portion. So we can say that plate has to be inside the cup. Okay. Now what does the third statement say? Some saucers are spoons. Okay. So saucer is this portion. So saucer and spoon have a some relation. So this is saucer. Okay. Here as well what you can do. Okay. This. Okay. So this was cup. Okay. Okay. Now moving on to the conclusion part. What does the first conclusion say? All plates are not saucers. Okay. So here all not has come. So all not basically means some not itself. Okay. So as we are already discussed in the secondary keywords, all not basically means some not. Okay. Okay. So just cross verifying it. Some plates are not saucers. Okay. So is it right or wrong? Some plates are not saucers. Can we say it is right or wrong? Okay. We can't just try. Is it possible? Plates is this portion. Saucer is the outer circle. So from this we can say that all the plates are saucers here, but we can't say that some plates are not saucers. Okay. So if we are not able to say that, that conclusion is always wrong. Okay. Now moving on to the next conclusion. Some cups are spoons. Is it right or wrong? Some cups are spoons. So does cup and spoon have a relation directly? No, they haven't given a relation. So in the definite conclusion, that portion has to be wrong. Okay. So that's why the second one is wrong. So if both are wrong, which option we are marking always? The fourth option, that is neither follows. Okay. So I hope that you got the first one. First one, they had used a secondary keyword here. So from just viewing the Venn diagram, we understood that all plates are saucers is right, but some plates are not saucers is not right. Okay, so that's why the first one was wrong. And the second one was easy. Cup and spoon don't have a direct relation here, so that's why second conclusion also is wrong. Okay, so if both are wrong, as we know, the answer has to be the fourth option, that is neither follows. Okay.